guys. Okay, today I am shifting gears and we are painting a Valentine that's like a little deeper, has a little more like intrigue. So I started out by painting the background. I taped it off, of course, and I painted the background with some diagonal metallic yellow, so it was like sunbeams all the way down, and then I dropped in some metallic blue for the water. And now you can see what I might be painting here. This is a goldfish, and we're gonna call him Ralph. And Ralph is very brave. And right now you're probably thinking, why is Ralph's body so thin? It's not. There's some intrigue that's about to happen at the top of him. But I wanted to mention that because there's blue underneath, I'm using the neon orange of this palette because I have to counteract the fact that there is the complementary color down. And so what that does is it will darken the complementary color. So because the blue is down, if I used just a regular orange, even a light orange, it would be dark and muted. So I had to use this neon orange. Now, if I use the neon orange without the blue underneath, it's really bright and obnoxious. So it just worked out perfectly. So if you ever want to paint with the neon orange, and you don't want it to be like so obnoxious, but you still want it to have that really beautiful bright glow, do an underpainting of blue. So I'm painting in, I am looking at a picture of a goldfish while I do this. I didn't share my reference photo, I'm not sure why, but it's just a picture of a goldfish in a bowl. But he is in a lake because, well, I mean, he's an imaginary goldfish, of course, but he can't survive in the ocean because it's salt water. So he must be in a lake. Although I'll share ahead of time because you might be able to see the sketch. He's going to be wearing a shark fin. So maybe he needs to somehow magically be in the ocean. I'm not sure. You know, it doesn't have to make sense. It's art. It doesn't have to make sense. But the reason why I decided to paint a Valentine that's a little bit less like sugary sweet is because I had this really sweet viewer say that he was going to try to paint my hedgehog Valentine for his wife, although he said he is into horror themed painting. And I was like, oh, horror themed? I just never thought about that. So I decided to do a Valentine that would be like my version of a horror Valentine. So yes, there's a cute goldfish, but just wait, it's gonna get spicy. I'm excited. So for the shadows or the deeper, I'm using like an orangey red to brush in his like spines and his scales and the little delineations in his fins. And I've never actually painted a goldfish before, so this is actually super fun. And I keep going back over it because fish scales are fun because it's very like forgiving. You can make them, sporadic. So now I'm just putting in some metallic yellow because I want to highlight his eyeball. I want his eyeball to sort of glow. And then I'm putting that deep orangey red around his eye to make it like it's bulging or like just highlight his eye a little bit by putting the dark color around it. Yeah. Ralph. We're calling him Ralph. So, Ralph, we're just putting in his little, we're just deepening the shadow areas and the dark areas of his spine. I must have like went back into each of his fins and the scales like 100 times while I was doing this. And so I decided to share it sped up so that you wouldn't be like suffering through watching me touch these fins like 1,000 times each. So you're probably wondering, why is he going to have a shark fin? Well, because this Valentine's Day, he is going to be brave, and he's going to show this like tough exterior and be sweet on the inside. And so what's going to show above the water on the quotes, air quotes, outside will be the tough shark fin. And then underwater is going to represent this Ralph guy on the inside, where he's like this like beautiful, sweet, adorable guy. So now the shark fin's coming in. And I thought it was kind of cool that I painted the top of the shark fin and the base of the part of the fin that was outside of the water is going to be a slightly different color than the part of the fin on the inside of the water, because you guys know from just life that's what happens when something is half underwater and half outside of water. It looks different. So I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to sort of deepen the color of the fin above the water. Look at him. See, he's being brave. He's being brave. Oh. So that happened. So I think what might have happened is I may have forgot to press record when I came back from lunch, and we painted the heart. Hilarious. So we painted this heart with this hook, and this is supposed to represent the girl. And she is bubbly and beautiful and shiny on the outside, but on the inside, on the inside, she's a bit dangerous. So Ralph is showing his tough, strong exterior outside of the water with his gentle, sweet inside the water. And she is a bit of the opposite. And I really loved how this turned out. I apologize for not capturing painting the heart. That's kind of hilarious. I wasn't sure. I mean, I didn't know that it jumped like that. So sorry about that. So we're going to put some straps on his fin so it doesn't fall off. Strap his fins here. And we're going to give it a little buckle. And I'm going to use Posca paint to highlight the buckle to make it look like it's shiny, and so it will stand out, I guess. And yes, this is a Valentine card, and it is my version of a horror-themed Valentine card, because really, this is about as scary as my paintings are going to be. I avoid conflict at all costs. Let's just be real. In my painting and in basically life and in watching movies and all of that, I'm not a fan of scary or conflict. So this is my best shot, you guys. I gave it a go. So now I'm using that Posca white to highlight the strap and highlight the buckles, so it looks maybe like it's metal. It's a buckle. I'm going to give him a little shine on the fin. And then I'm realizing I feel like this shine is maybe like too aggressive. So I'm darkening in and covering up some of that shine because it was just like too aggressive. Oh my goodness, he's so cute. And I'm darkening in the hook because I feel like it got lost a little bit and I really wanted it to stand out. So I'm giving it more of a shadow because her insides, she's dangerous. She's a dangerous girl to be going after, even if you're brave and tough and strong, like Frank. Thanks for hanging out and painting with me today. I hope you enjoyed this little extra, little different painting. And I'll see you next time.